Okay, so a D4 then. And Steve, are you able to access the VTT?
Oh, yep. I just clicked the link, but I didn't finish.
Just checking. I got a 4, so that's Birdie. So, Birdie, what happened last time? I'll do it.
Okay, my notes are very chaotic.
No, then I want to hear them anyway. Like,
oh goodness. So I happened to get everybody's names down. And part of the prophecy. And then let's see.
Made it finally.
Okay, no, these are not making any sense.
No, but you have to read them. You have to read the notes verbatim anyway. That's the fun in it.
Oh my word.
You don't have to. You don't have to. I'll recap.
So I have the notes were that I feel like I'm missing a page too. This is what I get when I clean the house. So last week we ticked off a band because we didn't like their song. I didn't sing. I just stood there and watched the whole drama unfold in front of me. And apparently they'd sung in the bar the night before, and so they just let out this tune. The band got kicked out without getting paid. Our group took their pay. We also pickpocketed somebody who offered us a job but then rescinded their job offer, and so we ended up with, I think, 14 gold out of that mess. And then we tried to go into the woods and got distracted by the mushrooms that were glowing and got our butts kicked by something and had to take Tharnlin back to town because he was poisoned, even though he insisted he'd be fine. And then I think I got this out of order, but then we went back and we discovered the town had goblins, and we needed to get to where the sword was to help the guy who's now dead. Who's the bard?
Edward.
Edward charmed the goblins, and I charmed the goblins, so now they're our best friends and having a good time, and we stole what we thought was the sword, and it's very not the sword at all, even remotely. And so the guy that we were supposed to help is now in multiple pieces, and the thing flew away with the sword, and we have to go back and explain to the goblins why they now have our axe in their sword sheath and come up with a story for how we can still be friends. Maybe just a little longer.
Oh yeah, the plan was to possibly... I don't think we resolved what the plan was, so one possibility
No, we have no plan.
Going back to the goblins and trying to befriend them while they're still charmed, and then, yeah.
It's like, are we going to just go and look for the sword? Are we going to go fight this other army? Are we fighting this army? Is this army smaller than that army? Yeah.
I'm gonna rotate callers like I do in the other games. Birdie, I pick you. You're the caller tonight. Ilaria Athariel will be the caller for the night. And I don't know. I think that was it. I think that's what happened.
It might have been a little out of order.
No.
Yeah, I wrote my notes weird last week.
I'll to zoom out. You know what I realized this hat looks like? It's kind of beat up as a wizard's hat. You know that weird guy that wears a boot on his head? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
I don't remember his name, but he's got dresses in like a robe.
Yeah, and he's like the real problem with the country is that there's no free ponies or something like that. And
he's right.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. No, I look like that guy. Like, this looks more like a boot at this point. It's not very Gandalf-y anymore. But I've always been kind of a dime store Gandalf anyway, so I'm not...
I love the hat. That's awesome.
Yeah, so to zoom out, these people you're all from other worlds except for Alara Athariel, who is from the Vale. The Vale is this world, this place. But the rest of you are from other worlds. I don't think you've shared that yet, though. You kind of hint to people about it. I wouldn't tell people that either, I guess, in your defense. Like, I probably wouldn't lead with that either. But you were in the city, and you were picked primarily through corruption and chicanery to become like land pirates for this Magitech kingdom. You started doing work for this Magitech kingdom elsewhere in this place, and you started kind of, well, some of your friends kind of messed things up for you, and then some of you already had enemies. Like, some of you had deals with counselors and the government, and there was this corruption and all this stuff going on. Ultimately, you were stabbed in the back, and then you made this deal with this dwarf that was the last demi-human on the Council of Perrinval, and you all kind of like said, you know, we're going to help you, and you agreed to kind of help her with her problem, which is her big adventure for you, like an official mission on behalf of the kingdom, is to discover the fate of her people. So she brought you to this portal, the Shadow Gate, to do that, and just before you go into it, they arrest her. And they try to arrest you too, but you go onto the other side, and you entered a place called the Evening Lands, where you are now. And it is now day 20 days that you have been in the Evening Lands. And you're trying to discover the fate of the dwarves. You have a major lead. You were told by the captain of the Rangers, of the Black Oak Rangers, which Alara is one of, that there was once a dwarven kingdom here called the Kingdom of Carlone. But something cataclysmic happened in its past, centuries ago, and now it's a wasteland, and there's this area leading into Carlone, which glows at night, and anybody that goes into it never returns. And then on the other side, it's just surrounded by undead. And then also, you found this Hobbit Shire, and you became friends with the Hobbits, but the Hobbits had like a goblin/dragon problem. And you used one of those problems to solve the other, and got a magic sword from a prophetic ancient knight, and slew the dragon. And now you're trying to figure out how to help this Hobbit Shire as well. That's kind of what's going on big picture. So there was this plan, like, well, we'll go down to Helmer's people and try to find like people to help Brandonsford. And then somebody had the idea of like, well, we'll ask the church. I think it was you, Steve. I think it was Helmer. You know, so you go to the church, and the church is like, you want our help? Well, you help us, we'll help you. And since you had this story of, you know, coming into possession of one of the weapons of myth of their peoples, they're like, well, hey, here's this young guy who's also looking for his ancestor's sword. Go find that sword, and then we will kind of use that to solidify our power here, and then that'll help us, and then we'll help you. Well, you go get that sword, and it turns out that sword is not what people thought it was. And it was held by a goblin. And then who was supposed to be Robin the Younger, turned out actually to be something in his, wearing him as a flesh, just apparently wearing him, and then just exploded out of him as a demon, and then flew off with the sword. So problems upon problems and more problems. Let's see, where are you all?
We picked up right out on the edge of going back through that forest, or we were trying to decide going back through the forest where we fought the spiders that time, or going back to the goblins and throwing down a pile of skin and saying, "Oh, demon stole your sword." Which I'm not. Now that I think more about that plan, I'm not really sure what we were going to get out of it by going back to the goblins.
Yeah, especially since they have our axe in the
Yeah.
sheet. That's not going to end well.
I might be a little bitter about losing my hand axe, but I got a cutlass anyway that's better. So,
The other thing I'm wondering is, even if we did go back and somehow convince them that this was actually the dead guy's fault, they still want us to go kill this big army.
right.
And they have fewer goblins than this army does.
Yeah, they were trying to get our dirty work in their little goblin feuds, right?
Yeah. They're like, you go kill this even bigger goblin army and then we'll give you what you want.
Yeah. It's like, well, trying to figure out some way to use that to our advantage. We got
It feels like
goblins
the game where you got to get an item from one person to give to another person to get this item to give to another person to get that item to get back to this person so you can take this item and go back over there.
We successfully gotten one enemy to kill our goblins before. Now we just got to do that again with goblin versus goblin, right?
This
we
is
got a dragon to kill the goblins. Now we just need goblins to kill the other goblins.
This is a game where everybody's got problems, and you're an adventurer, and you're supposed to fix them. But the good news is, if you utterly fail and don't fix anything, it'll still be fun. So,
well, that didn't work. On to the next one.
On to the next thing to mess up. Let's go. But I hope you all fix all these problems. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
As Richard says, I don't want the little people on my computer to be sad.
So, yeah.
Well, while you all are thinking about this, let's see. Ilara, roll a d6 twice. But because you're an elven ranger, this will affect this roll.
I got a 6 and a 3.
Nice. Okay. Nothing happens. You know exactly where you are. You're certain you could find the Pilgrim's Road and the Goblin area. And you can hear the sounds of things skittering in the dark canopy of the Bray Mill Wood. But you're confident that you could keep your companions away from them.
So, should we take this pile of skin back to the church to say, what's up with this guy?
Yeah, I think we should do that. But and on the bright side, we also have the name and location of the King Goblin, like the guy who's causing all this trouble.
True. Oh, and there was something about was the guy, the Duke or whatever, who's running the town. He's too interested in his own business to help the people or something, and potentially there's somebody in his dungeon that might be able to discredit him. Is that something I remember?
Yeah,
Right, there's that.
You have.
Because I'm always just discrediting the nobility. Is always like I'm on board with that, but.
You've got 2 or 3 of the guards that basically think that you're celebrities, which now you are, actually. And they want you to perform, but there's a chance you could get caught. But they can get you inside of the keep so long as you put on a performance, a private performance for everybody.
Right, because then they told us where to sneak it, where they can sneak us through the wall or something. Like they give us an access point potentially to sneak through at.
I think we need Edward for that one.
Yeah,
You for the sneaking, him for the singing.
Yeah, it might be a little premature on that, but I forget. I have like a 10-foot pole that I assume I just using like a walking stick and just throwing down whenever a fight ensues and gathering up. But get our nobles
Flesh.
skin on a pike.
Yeah.
I'll stick it into my 10-foot pole and kind of. All right, I'll just drape them on here, and we can take this back if we want. And
Helmer looks on in horror.
yeah. So in his past life,
he's done this a couple
Rabite
times.
was a sewer tosher, so yeah, he was like, okay. Everybody's oh god, oh, and he's just messing with all this dead skin. And
all right,
Helmer's trying to think of a way to like reverently do this, but one, he doesn't want to touch it, and two, he's got nothing. Like he's. But do you fold it? That seems wrong. Like this just seems as bad and as good as any idea.
What does Helmer think about the very holy item, like the relic of the saint that is the namesake of this entire region and where he's from, actually being a cursed sword?
He's horrified and thinks it's a trick. He's like, even if like, he's in that kind of like, nope, can't be. Something's wrong. Something's afoot. Something is amiss.
Yeah.
He just can't accept that one. Not this guy.
All right, Alara, what do you think is the plan to head back to the Church of the Thrice Blessed at the edge of Griff's Bluff and try to talk to Sister Greta?
So at this point, do we know whether that was the sword or was that just a sword, or we have no idea?
I will say, to not bury the lead, that because you asked at one point, you were like, hey, tell me, does the sword look like the real deal? And I said yes. And so especially Helmer in particular, like judging from the scabbard and the blade and everything, it was either an extremely elaborate trick or something happened to the blade, or that was the blade of Griff.
Wondering also if it's
either Griff's not who he said it was, or somebody defiled Griff's memory and did something to his weapon. I don't know.
Or that big horrible monster was that kid the whole time.
Yeah.
Which is possible, and he could have been wanting the blade to free himself.
Yeah, whoever may have defiled the blade has something to do with a demon possessing or posing or wearing our young noble friend.
I don't think going back is going to be any good.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't think it's going to be well received to walk into town with this banner.
Yeah, this is precisely how the hordes of chaos once marched upon this place during the War of the Traitor with, flesh banners and grisly things like that. So
I can
as much as Helmer doesn't want to touch it, yeah, we should probably
folding it up.
Yeah,
is that better?
I mean, worst case scenario, we blame the goblins or the sword. I don't know. We did tell them it was dangerous, and they insisted he come.
Got bad news.
All right, let's see here.
Yeah, I vote we go back because I don't really want to touch any more swords and see, get way through and play. I mean, what does this blade do to you?
So
I think I got it.
All right, you all make it back to the Pilgrim Road north of the woods, and Alara, you can roll 2d6s.
A 2 and a 4.
A 2 and a 4. Okay.
Ooh, I like this music.
And it kicked in right time too. 2 and a 4. Oh.
You see with your elven eyes, Alara, off in the distance, along the road, there are 3 young initiates of a church militant order, in every way similar to Helmer. And they are approaching you. They're about, let's see, they are 100 yards away on the road, coming your way from the west.
I would probably ask Helmer, point them out, and ask Helmer if he knows who they are, if they are friend or foe.
He's kind of shielding his eyes, trying to look. Does he recognize any of those?
You don't recognize these people, but you can tell that they're part of the Church Militant Order. Some other paladins, 3 other paladins.
Okay. Yes, these are some of my members of my order. They seem to be younger initiates. I do not recognize them personally, but they'll be safe. We don't need to avoid these ones.
Oh, and I should note they're on horseback, as paladins usually are.
Okay.
So
When
they'll
we
be
get
safe to
closer,
pass by
I'll-
then.
Yeah, they'll be safe. As they get closer, I'll hail them and make the sign.
Yeah. Claw! There. you get you get closer, and they also respond with the sign of the thrice blessed. There's probably a nod in there or something like that, and they say, "Hail, knight! What brings you by this way? Are you guiding these pilgrims on the way?"
Hail, squires. No, we returned from a quest given by Sister Greta. Though woe follows us, we ask your prayers at this time, and be safe on the road ahead. There are many dangers.
We will give you our prayers if you give, and you please give us yours, because we hope for such woes. Were there goblins that you saw to the east?
There were goblins.
They look at each other, eyes wide, and they're like, "That is what we're here to do. We're here hunting goblins, try to drive them back so that they don't approach the shrine by the road anymore."
There's near here the direction we came from, and he kind of points yonder, and there's a village destroyed. Be very, very careful. There is a band of goblins there, but there are many. Perhaps you could lure 1 or 2 out, but do take great caution. They're mighty.
A village near here. You don't speak of Old Braymill.
That was the place that we were at, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm blanking on the name. He nods gravely, like that kind of. Mm-hmm.
Goblins too. We'd heard that there were chaos unmen and things of that sort. I've heard stories of ghosts and monsters. Tavern talk mostly, we thought, but goblins, of course. Of course they would set up in Braymill. We should conduct our own reconnaissance. Thank you for this information, brother.
Before they go, he hops off his horse and he says, "Come!" and he starts drawing like a little map and like the location on the ground.
Yeah,
kind
like
of
the
pointing out,
layout
saying,
of the
like, okay,
goblin
here's-
fortress and
yeah.
everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, here's where they they're staying. Here's the name of their leader. There's some additional information that I have. I tell them, like, there's additional information I have on one of the goblin leaders. However, it is best that I take this to Sister Greta directly.
So you don't tell them about
before-
Ardak the Grim?
Yeah, I tell them like of him, but that like there is such a person we might have located, or such a goblin we might have located him. But before I start, I tell them before I say exactly where and everything, it's best that we be sure so that I'm not sending anybody on wild goose chases.
Oh, we should be sure but we should also, actually a different one, is like, "No, brother, if they found Ardak the Grim, we must act at once. We should go back to the tower and gather our brothers and charge on that place. If Ardak the Grim is there, we could end his tyranny now." They start arguing with each other.
Man. Helmer's into it. We need to know our number. As you know, there are difficulties getting the leadership to move on this, but your rallying could be of great assistance. Do as you can, brothers. Do as you can.
So be it. And they actually turn around and charge off back to the west. The way they came. All right.
Helmer turns to the others and kind of like a grin on his face and shrugs. Got to support the young fellas, right?
Oh.
Let's see. You return and you can smell the pigs off the road. As you get closer, there's a smell in the air around the church that smells off. It's almost as if like something is mixing, you know, the pig smell. You can kind of get used to that smell, you know. But there's something sour and wrong in the air mixed with it.
Doesn't remind me anything with the skin bag that I got, does it? It's like
No, yeah, this is some other smell.
No.
The sun.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Ben would be like better at bad smells or worse because everything it's just destroyed. Like, you know, I don't know.
You waft it in,
Hard to
taste
say.
the air a bit. Is there anybody
Excrement.
standing outside? Yeah. Pig.
You can tell that in the accommodation, once again I can't think of that word. The parsonage is the word. There is an audience happening. So Sister Greta is clearly here and is meeting with someone. Otherwise, the Temple of the Thrice Blessed is guarded by 2 church militant, 2 paladins, and open to worshippers. And there's chanting, and there are attendants and stuff, and acolytes and stuff in the church.
Yeah, so last time we were here, there were those guys, were they red robe guys from that other place?
Yeah.
Where was that? I was like, wonder if I'd be curious to know if they met with our skin bag friend before. I don't know. It seems these guys encouraging the church to abandon their principles just before all this evil quest shenanigans. I don't know. Just maybe worth seeing if there's a connection.
Okay, how do you do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's like, do we got anybody that could ask if they were
In a very clever, efficient way. That's that.
yeah. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like you're the paladin, Helmer. You know, does that make you know how to? You got any connections with these guys?
Well, last
Well,
time we got
we
information
should,
from someone in one of the pews. Is there anyone sitting in a pew this time?
Yeah, there are people in the pews. There are people coming and going, in fact. So, you know, it seems like, and as an elf, both Ben and Alara would probably not be super familiar with what you're supposed to do in this place. But just looking at everyone else, everyone is very solemn and quiet and withdrawn. It's probably really strange to Alara and Ben every time they go in and sit down and do that. Although Alara is familiar with human religion. But that being said, people are also leaving the building. And you could ask them things if you would prefer.
If you guys talk to them, Helmer's going to go talk to one of the guards. But once you guys...
Ben will throw some, like, when somebody's leaving, he'll be like, "Hey, is there any news from the community, the church, about any church business that we've been out of town. Do you know who Sister Greta's meeting with or anything?
Well, to tell you that it's a woman, she says, to tell you the truth, we came here to pray, because that crazy widower, in town, Frederick, he, some say he's a prophet, and he's had visions, and he talks about them. The dreams that he has at night, and they're terrifying. Everything seems like it's getting worse. It seems like we're approaching a second Vesper, a second evening time.
Oh, this Frederick guy, yeah, he's big stuff. Yeah, I heard about him. Where's he at?
Oh, well, usually Frederick, whenever he gives any of his, whenever he preaches, it's in the market square in Griff's Bluff.
Of course. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, Christ blessed upon you.
And then they leave, yeah. Meanwhile, what is Alara doing?
Probably looking around and observing and listening, and because would I be familiar with the customs or like the phrases to say?
Probably not. Like you've seen it, but familiar I wouldn't say, no.
So trying to, I guess, like figure out, it's like, okay, well, how do I interact here? Watching him interact a bit.
Okay.
Seeing if there's anyone that looks unusual or is standing out.
Okay, so you're listening, watching. Roll a d6.
Yeah.
You want to get a 1 to a 3.
Oh, I got a 1.
A 1. You stand, for a while. People probably would not be able to tell that you're an elf unless they were close, and then but they could tell something's different about you. That you look very strange for a person. But then because you have your cloak and everything, right? But you kind of just take in the sights and the smells and watch people. And as you do this, you realize you can sort out what the smell is. It's not the pigs. It's not the remains of Rauben. It's the trees, and you can tell that something is wrong with them. You can smell that they have some kind of sickness.
The trees inside the building or outside the building?
Outside, there's this orchard here. Actually, do you have are you able to? You may not actually have. Can you see anything right now? Oh, no, you can't. Let me fix that. Can you see now?
Not yet.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes I have issues, so it could just be... Oh, there we go.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so you've got the Church of the Thrice Blessed here. You've got the place where pilgrims are received. You've got the parsonage, which clearly has a meeting going on. And then a farm with some pigs. That's usually how you can tell you're here, is you can smell the pigs from the road. And there was an odd smell when you came here. But as you stand and you just take everything in, you realize that the odd smell is coming from the trees.
And I'm with Ben? Or is it Homer?
Whatever you want.
I didn't remember who I was with. I thought they split up.
Thought we were with me, and he went off to talk with the guards, but I was standing outside. I hadn't actually entered the church. I was kind of just hitting people up as they came out.
So I'd probably walk over and ask, do you smell the trees? You can smell them more than the pigs. What's wrong? Should we go?
Yeah, that ain't right. Now, I guess now that she's pointed out, I can tell the difference. I can notice a little bit like, Yeah, you want to go check out the trees, or?
All right. If you all go out and you approach the orchard, the smell gets more intense. There are fat hornets and big, fat, brightly colored worms dropping from the trees. And you can see that they're, in the fall, still apples in the trees. Probably the very apples that make the cider at the Lone Watchman Inn. And they are rotten and full of parasites and wasps and worms. Some sort of blight has afflicted these trees. You can see that their leaves have blotches on them. The color's already changed. There's even blotches on the root, on the trunks of the trees.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be like that. That's gross. Wonder if connected to our demon friend? I don't know.
Meanwhile, over to Helmer, you approach the paladins that are standing guard to the entrance to the sanctuary. And they
he makes the... He says, "Hail, brothers. We've returned from a quest for Sister Greta. Something is amiss, but I know not what it is. What has happened here?"
Hail, thrice blessed. Smile and smile upon you today, brother. Yes, there is something. There's a strange smell here. I just realized that. It's true, isn't it, Miguel? And he says, yes, Edgar, there is something a bit strange here, but I don't know, maybe it's the pigs. Maybe they've eaten something strange. Anyways, if you're here to see Sister Greta, well, I regret to say that you'll probably not be happy to hear who she's meeting right now. He's like a shorter man with a buzz cut. And he points to her parsonage, and it's like, the Red Priests. Can you believe that, brother? All of the problems we face, and she's holding an audience for those heretics.
He sneers, kind of looking their direction. And, well, I imagine if Sister Greta is speaking to them, it's for good cause. I suppose you're more right. For having to speak to them.
If it were up to me, brother, to be honest, I would drive the goblins and the Red Priest from this land. You know, if you ask me, I say that Marcher Lord Baron Edric has it right. We should gather ourselves together, bring down Rebek, and unite this land, and then we should clear these goblins from this place. If we don't act, well, the night is coming then, if we just allow it. Some history of the land that he would know, Homer would know. So, it is the year 587 of the current year, by the way. Approximately... just a real quick kind of what you know, there was a time called the Elder Times, thousands of years ago in this place. And at some point about 500 years ago, humans came here, and it was called the Kingdom of Old, or the Kingdom of Light. And they launched a war against the Elder Ones. And they cleansed the land. And the stories that you have... from, I keep saying 1,000 years ago, but it is 500 years ago, so I've had that math wrong. 500 years ago of like Griff and Brandon, that's from that war from like 500 years ago. But then the stories go that the Old Kingdom was betrayed by the heathen, by these barbarian tribes, and they were overthrown. And since then, there have been all these little petty kingdoms like Griff's Bluff and Rebek and Westeron and all these like little places in the Evening Lands, and they were separated. But then there came about 87 years ago the coming of the oracles of Damarung, and they united the peoples again, and they preached the prophecy given by the Grass Mother herself of the Geratect, the sacred text. And it was this, like, what is that prophet that did that? Which prophet did that? Like the prophet, was it Jeremiah? Like the one that was like, rebuild the walls, bring the scripture back out, let's rebuild everything. And the oracles did that in Damarung and reconsolidated this unified peoples and faith. And all was well in an age of piety and truth until 50 years ago, when all contact was lost with Convocation. And no one has come or gone from Damarung since then for 50 years. And no one knows what has happened to the High Oracle.
I would personally have no idea what could have caused that.
Yeah, definitely was not involved in that.
Not me.
But there is this thing called the Old Night, the Night, which is the period from when the Old Kingdom fell until the coming of the Convocation. And it was like considered this age of darkness, like the Dark Ages. And
okay.
And so now when people keep referring to the coming of a new night, they're talking about a second Dark Age, you know.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he furrows his brow. He's got a bit of a frown, and he's nodding. He says, yes. Keep your swords at your sides, brothers. There's something strange afoot, and I do believe something will come of it soon. Thank you for telling me. I shall go meet with my companions. And he kind of does the sign and kind of claps one on the shoulder and heads over to the other two. And I guess as he's walking up, his eyes are kind of like, yeah, and then that kind of happy Helmer stride, and then he sees what's going on here, and yeah.
So do they realize how nasty their trees are? What do we? I mean, how big is this grove? Is there like?
It's big. It's
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah.
It serves as an export commodity. The apples do. They make food from them. They dry them for winter. They make cider and things that can last, like have a good shelf life, you know.
I just wondered, I don't know, is this the sort of thing where somebody cursed their orchard? Is there something in that orchard that's making it nasty? I just
wonder.
His background with kind of cursed areas makes Ben a little, if these are unusually large grubs and parasites and stuff and all that, he's can't help but be a little, it's like, is this some sort of taint in this grove?
If I reach out and grab a branch and try to just test it to see how much weight it has, or try to break it off, like a smaller one, I guess, not like a full huge one, but try to take a look inside it or see how strong the wood is.
It's nasty.
It's rotting.
You snap it off and it's full of worms.
Ew.
Yeah.
After kind of staring with his jaw dropped, Helmer was going to run back to the other two paladins, sprinting back to them, and he's going to say, "There's something wrong. One of you, I need one of you to come with me. We need to get Sister Greta immediately, and then one of you to stand watch on the door, and also keep your eye on the red priests."
What's wrong? What's wrong? And they draw their blades. Is it the goblins?
The grove. No, there's something wrong with the grove. Come, we must go. And he kind of points at one and says, come.
They look and they're like, you know our code. Edgar, go with them. I will stay, and you must stay with me and guard the entrance to the church. Then.
Helmer?
Yeah. because
there's always going to be two. Okay.
Yeah, two Church Militant. There's actually three. There are three of them, but one of them is in the sanctuary, and then two guard the doors. But okay, so Edgar goes with you all and sees the trees and is like, "This is an ill omen indeed. Something terrible is happening. Sister Greta, she needs to be made aware of this. You're right." When you come back and before you can kind of reapproach them, you see Sister Greta and the Red Priests exit this building. There are three Red Priests and Sister Greta, and they're talking, and they seem to almost be arguing. And at this, Sister Greta says, "You're back already. Where is Robin?"
We might need to talk privately about that.
One of the paladin, the one Edgar, he says, "Sister, they have seen some things that I think that they should tell you. If we maintain our vigil here, you should know about this right away." And then she just like rubs her temple. She's like, "Oh, very well. Come on, come in." And then she brings you into her into the parsonage, and she says, "Can I get you some wine, some tea, something to drink?" She pours herself some wine.
Helmer scoots on over there once the other guy comes back to switch out. Tag out.
Take some wine. Before I drink it, I'm going to sniff it, see if it's turned or anything.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the wine is all right.
Okay. After the last guy split open and a demon popped out, I'm not sure if I trust Sister Greta.
It's just not liking to touch
Just
things.
keep a roof over her so she can't fly away if she pops out of this thing.
I'm gonna guess, like, what I don't know. I'm just gonna say I probably brought the stick with me. Or the little snippet of branch.
Ah, yeah.
Because she's not gonna come out and see it. I'm gonna bring it into her.
Yeah, you just put that onto the table, and maggots and worms are coming out of it, and she says, "What is this rotten stick that you've brought in here?"
Sister Greta, we've returned with awful news and bad tidings, only to return and discover something that none had noticed yet. I do not know which one to begin with. Both are. It was the boy. Excuse me. Sorry, I meant to mute before I did that.
The charge is sent with us. How long has he been here before you sent him along with us?
Lord Robin.
Yeah.
He came from Western. Out of character. Let me actually look.
Is he from Westernell over yonder?
There's actually like two other cities that are like that actually have names like that are like Westeron and Westerling, and I'm serious, like they actually
Nailed it.
It's a thing now. It's let me see what this dude's it doesn't say where he's from, but I would say he's probably from one of the nicer cities out west, which would be something like Pomperberg. So I'll just say he's from Pomperberg, which is actually... No, I'm not. I'm going to say he's from... Because that's where Sister Greta's from. He is from Westerboss. There's Westerland, Westerboss, and Westernell. I don't even know that that's all the Westers. But anyways.
So, yeah, I was like, how long did you know him personally? How long was he praying at the temple for a while? Was he here a few days, or did he just show up right before we did?
Well, I didn't know him personally, but I do know of him. Robin the Younger is a proper descendant of Griff the Knight that sundered the dragon shrine. What is happening? Just tell me.
We found.
Should I? I'll reach into my bag.
Oh.
Sister, we found the.
I don't know how to break this. I mean,
Yeah, nobody knows what to say here.
yeah, it's hard to say. I just want to know if he like slept here, did he sleep or hang around? Because he
I would
split
like
open
some
and something
answers,
came out.
please, from
And I'll just
someone.
pull out his.
You
Get
pull
it out
out
of
the
my
skin,
bag.
the pile of flesh.
There was a demon inside that kid.
She screams.
This is all that's left of him.
She screams, and the paladins come running.
His hand is in his hand.
That's why I'm asking. I want to know how long you knew this kid before because he split open and a demon popped out.
Do you know this guy?
The paladins come in the room and draw their blades because she's screaming. Yeah, and they're both like, "What? What is who is that? What's going on?" And she's still just screaming and like almost climbing up the wall in terror.
Lord Rauben of Westeros has fallen. We have returned with his remains.
I should
We
know.
found the blade.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat again. We found the blade, and when we handed it to him, a terrible beast, an abomination, forgive my crudeness, ruptured forth from the boy. We've returned with his remains. The creature flew off with the sword before we could react. We were in shock.
So if you understand that, why maybe it makes more sense why I was asking how long he hung around before
She sees
you
what's
sent him off
going
with
on.
this.
She's standing, she's looking, and she looks to the paladins at the door and she says, "Get out now. Get out now. I will come to speak to you later. Get out now." And they look at each other and they sheathe their swords and they walk back, go to their post.
Makes the sign as they leave.
They stumble out and don't even make the sign or anything. And she sits down. She drinks the glass of wine. She looks at this pile of flesh, and she says, "And the sword. The sword is gone."
Taken.
Well,
We do not know if this was a forgery. By the stories and by Lord Rauben's testimony, this, even according to my own eyes, this was the blade. Though whether that was indeed not Lord Rauben or a terrible fate has come upon Lord Rauben, or the blade is, we know not what has happened here. We do not know what has happened here.
she puts her hand on the table next where you're at, and she taps it and looks at this pile of flesh. She leans towards you all and she says, "It is most regrettable what happened to Rauben." And she blesses his body. "Lord Rauben the Younger, who was slain by goblins. It is most regrettable that he was slain by goblins."
Cryptic nod.
Oh, you mean like that's he's okay. We'll make sure he didn't die, and then you sent him with us after he got put back together. Yeah, Ben's not good.
I cannot help you with what you ask. To be frank, you failed in your quest. And you must not be what Rauben or I thought you were.
Well, see, here's the thing. That wasn't Rauben. It was the
It is
demon wearing
most
Rauben's
regrettable
skin.
what happened to Rauben with the goblins.
Mhm,
And I will be sure that people know that that criminal rogue goblin gang was up to its usual murder. If you would
Okay.
like, and she turns toward Helmer, if you would like our blessing of this church, you will speak to no one of that blade under any circumstances. Now, I understand that you came here hoping for some help, and I'm afraid that I cannot offer it to you. However, I can offer you some other things. And then perhaps that could help, as well as some money. But under no circumstance can you tell anyone of what happened to this blade.
Elmer nods grimly.
So you don't know anything about demons?
I do not know
Get it.
anything about demons. What happened with the goblins was most regrettable, Ben.
Yes. There's nobody else can hear us. I just want to make sure.
So,
What about your orchard then?
let's talk about how you might be able to get help, since I will no longer be able to help you. You know, it is quite unfortunate how the Lord Marcher is so distracted from his duties. Some worry that there may be enough things that he could be compromised. All of his financial concerns, his family out west, those under his dungeon. He might even be extorted, some say. We can only pray for the Lord Marcher, Baron Edric. But it seems to me that he is in a very tenuous place. I do hope him the best.
That's a lot of intrigue from... Wow.
How long has your orchard been turning? You know?
She sighs, and she turns toward Alara and says, "That branch, it came from the orchard."
Just now.
Helmer, keep praying as best you can. These are dark times. She opens a safe, comes back with a bag of gold. It's got 500 gold in it.
Ooh.
Do not speak of the blade, or we will know.
He makes the sign over his mouth.
She blesses all of you, and she says, "You were in my prayers. You were very brave. I'm sorry that your quest was a failure." And then she opens the door of the parsonage, and she says, "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to see to the remains of Lord Robin."
All right.
What quest? I don't think we were ever on a quest. I don't know anything about a sword. Okay.
When you leave the parsonage, someone tries to get your attention at the edge of it.
I'm beginning to think maybe I shouldn't have given her Robin's skin. I don't know. Maybe I should have kept him. I'm gonna miss him more.
Does Helmer notice the person?
Yeah, you all notice someone. It looks like they're loading a cart, but someone is whispering, trying to get your attention. It's one of the red-robed priests.
Ooh.
Given that we can't get into any more trouble than we already are.
Yeah, you don't have to if you don't want to. I'll go talk to him. If Helm, I mean, if you want to stay here, I got no beef with these guys. But...
Helmer's got this like cat meets a cat in an alley.
Don't worry, I'll have this. And then I'll walk over.
I'll go with you.
They also bow and hold up the sign of the Thrice Blessed, it's a person in a red robe and cowl, and they say, "Brothers, I heard certain things, and I know there's some truths and some lies about this place, about what we think we know. And we may be able to help you.
I'm listening.
This red robe priest gets really excited and is like, the history of this place is a lie. In particular, the convocation. We never needed them. It's all a lie. The Juratect is something bigger than that. Something bigger than a mere document, kept in a faraway city by lords that have no interest in us. The thrice blessed is greater than this. And we have found some things. These are things that we learned. What is the other W city out of character? It's this is like the criminal town. It's Westerland. We discovered some things. Some historical records don't line up. Some things have been suppressed. Mostly not in fashion, but they're important, especially now. There are so many dark forces, the specter of war between Griff's Bluff and Rebek. I heard that you mentioned that the sword was taken by a demon.
If that doesn't ring a bell, but if that was a thing, did you know anything about demons? Not saying I heard any such thing, but
they're real. It's not just the sin of mutation of the Unmen. Demons. They manipulate things. They take residence in places. I think that we've been fortunate for a long time for how remote the Evening Lands are, how inconsequential, but we've drawn their attention. I think powerful, dark forces are at play here. Some of them masquerade as the church. I could be killed for what I've told you now.
Don't say this around my friend back there. He probably wouldn't like that.
I can see.
Now, would this have to do with some of the other foul things that have been occurring, such as the orchard?
In the ancient texts that describe the works of demons, they speak of corruption, of wilting, of the turning of family against family. The ground itself grows sick and throws up the dead that no longer take it. There are sayings that in darkness, these are the things that happen when demons rule. They are.
You know anything about getting rid of them? Like how to cleanse, say, a corrupted orchard?
It is exactly what my order has been trying to do, although we haven't focused so much on the coming of demons, but it is clear what you say, that there's a darkness. And I think that's clear to everyone. That's why that sanctuary is packed full of people. But my order mostly focuses on the truth, that we don't need the convocation, that we don't need the holy oracles, as they were called, that we can be free, and that we can chart our own path toward the thrice blessed. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by the rot that is in this church. It's clear the representative of the High Oracle in this place, they were sent away. That's why Sister Greta is in charge. I think the church is rotten itself. Something underneath it all. But you didn't hear that from me. But if you come to Rebek, we have an enclave there. We may be able to get to the bottom of this rot in the Church of the Thrice Blessed here in the Evening Lands. Just something to consider, brother and sister.
Thank you for sharing.
Good to know. Good to know. If we find our way in Revik, we may hit up some of you guys.
And if anyone asks, it was unfortunate about the goblins.
Yes.
So
Yes.
unfortunate.
It was, you're right. And he looks pensive, and then he offers the sign of the Thrice Blessed, and then he turns and helps load up the wagon, and the 3 red priests leave.
Okay, well.
I know not much of this religion, but it is very clear someone here is hiding something and someone is not.
Yes. I mean, do we investigate this grove and see if there's anything in there? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, the trees are rotting from the inside out, and there's
Yes.
pests where there shouldn't be, and they were fine when we left, not too long ago.
And Sister Greta seemed to just ignore all the questions about it. I don't know. Does that not seem odd to you? Like, you know anything about this grove? And she just dodged the question? I don't know.
Now that the those guys are gone, Helmer will rejoin the group. Helmer's totally down for snooping in the amongst the trees.
All right. Let's see.
Like, yeah, no, that's all I can think of is can't help but think there may be something in there.
You have a dwarf and 2 hobbits, and I forget, but they have been hanging around this whole time, and Nob says, he's like, well, I guess we could go check in that forest, but, from what I can see from here, it's just some old nasty, smelly, gnarled forest full of maggots and hornets. What would we do even if we were in there? What are we looking for?
Now, out of character, are these hobbits known for gardening too, or no?
Gardening? That's a good question. One of them is, Squints is. Yeah, Squints was a farmer.
That's right.
Well, Squints is one who is familiar with plants and produce. I should think maybe you may be able to better understand what is going on than some of us may.
If you point out what's going on in the trees to Squints and show it to him, he says, well, now I'll tell you something. That is not normal. Not this time of year. Well, right now is good month. And these trees ought to be growing apples really, really good. Real fine apples ought to be dropping from these trees. I'd be collecting them. There's nobody back here gathering these things. Well, I wouldn't touch them myself, but no, something's wrong. It's not natural. And not just a blight don't grow on every single tree in an orchard like this and just hew down a whole orchard. There's something that's different.
Like it's cursed.
Yeah, it makes me think of them fairies back outside of Brandonsford or something. Something bigger.
The sign mentioned of fairies.
Well, there's a demon inside of our friend. Maybe there's a thing in this orchard. I don't know. There's something inside corrupting stuff.
That sounds fair to me. Yeah, that's.
And
Tharnwin says, well, I agree. We just go in there and if we find something, we could kill it, and that would be that.
hopefully it'll be that easy. I say we investigate, take it slow, look for anything off. I'll, keep my ears open, and we go to the heart of that grove and see if there's anything that jumps out. And if there's nothing there, then we just have a bunch of rotten apples to be squished. I don't know.
All right.
As they start walking and via Tharlin are behind, Helmer kind of looks at him and winks and makes a chopping motion with his hand.
Chopping motion?
Yeah. Let's go kill it. And Helmer's like, yeah, let's hit something. He needs to hit something with his sword right now. Or maybe he'll just kind of picturing him as being like, right now in like this childish, grumpy mood where he's gonna take a stick and just like start going, hitting leaves and stuff. He's just keeping it together.
Oh, poor Elmer. This is the
Having a rough day, this fella.
Yeah. He's like, I'm here to hit bad things with my sword, and now it's gotten real complicated.
Yeah.
It's gotten real complicated.
Gave his sword to the bad things.
It flew away before he could hit it. What's he supposed to do with that?
Yeah. Too far away.
Where is
What
this?
if I put a sword in a bow?
Almost have it. What? Let me see if I put it over here, if that'll work. What?
And don't worry, Ross. I'm not going to go charging into combat or anything. He's just in a bad
There
mood.
it is. Almost got it. Give me a second.
As long as you don't find anything interesting, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not. Oh, that's interesting. Or
Oh,
No.
All right, come on. Got it. Okay. Alara, roll a d6, please.
4.
4. Okay. Oh no, I can't access my. I can't access my stinking tokens.
And doing with my thief hearing,
There
I
we go.
can't. If I'm going slowly in there, I don't. If there's anything I'm listening out for.
You do find something in the forest. This should not be green. It should have been red.
no, it's a friendly wall.
Yeah, it should have been red for sure. This wolf has glowing eyes. With your elven ranger, she's able to see it a ways off. In fact, 60 feet away, and able to bring you to a silent halt outside, away from it. What do you do?
Helmer's hand is on his sword, but he's not going to do. He doesn't want to
Can I
move.
Get a bow and just silently climb a tree in case that thing, to have a snipe position in case that thing attacks.
So I think you can climb a tree, but I think you'll need to pass a dexterity check to see if you can still be quiet.
Gotcha. So yeah, it's not a climb surfaces roll, just move silently, or
Yeah, I'll say you can also use climb surfaces, and it'll work as both. You can pick that or dexterity, either one.
oh, I'm definitely gonna go climb surfaces. I think because that's a 90% chance
Yeah,
of success.
go for it. Yeah, you got it. Nice. Yeah, you're able to climb a tree and you're quiet and up in the tree and you can see what your companions are doing. What's the plan, Alara?
Well, whereas trees would be possibly better, I'm guessing the dwarf and the hobbits should be able to climb, but I'm guessing not all of us would be able to get up fast if we needed to.
What do you want? What do you want to do overall for the what's the plan for the group?
Initially, I'm focusing on, I guess, more of a defensive. Like, I'm curious and wanting to see what it is, but also it's like, if I go up in the trees, I want to make sure. I just blanked on the word. Sorry, brain bubble. I want to make sure the rest of the party is protected too.
So I'm in the tree. I can't talk now.
In case it charges at us or something.
You know what it is. It's a supernatural wolf called a dire wolf.
Oh, so that's not good.
Don't they talk to a bunch of the bad elves?
Yeah.
Buddies with the elves. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, maybe. Actually, you're not sure about that. But you could probably ask her later.
Yeah,
'Cause she
but we
would know.
have encountered some that were, didn't we? Like when we parlayed with an elf for a while after we killed a wolf that was friends with them, and
Now,
while
from
back.
what I know about the dire wolves, would I know whether they travel solo or in groups?
They usually travel in groups and packs, in fact.
And this one is by itself, which means
This
either
one is
it's an
by
anomaly or we can't see the others.
Yeah, but you probably only have moments to act, either by slinking away or actually acting before this thing will get a chance to notice you again.
Did you say it's either alone or in a pack, or it's annoying and in a pack?
Yes.
Okay, I thought
Both.
wasn't sure what you said. Like, oh, that's clever.
It's going to get another chance. And it does, in fact, notice you all. And it turns and snarls. And it bolts towards the nearest person, which is probably, I'm going to say it's Helmer.
Oh,
But you'll have a chance to act first. So, let's see.
Can I get an arrow off on it?
Not now, but you can during combat,
Gotcha.
We gotta wait for the combat
as
music.
it is no longer surprised. And Alara, roll a d6.
3.
3. Okay. Now house wins. You all can act first. If you're moving and then doing a melee attack, you can do that. If you're firing an arrow, you can do that, or you can run. Just let me know. What do you do?
I'm firing an arrow.
Helmer
I'm firing
is
an
gonna...
arrow.
Okay, you guys go.
Would it be better to get everyone up in the trees or have everyone run? I'm kind of concerned about the hobbits.
I'll say that if the hobbits use their turn to get in the trees, they can do so. But they'll
Okay, and
have-
would the dwarf be able to get up or would he be stuck down here?
he refuses. He's like, I'm not some squirrel.
Go fight.
The hobbits comply and they scurry up into a tree.
So I'm gonna fire an arrow at it too.
All right, yeah, you all
I
can.
think two of us are.
You-
Where
that
did
sucks.
my
I think it's
go?
armor class 14. I think is what 13 is what you got to beat.
Oh,
So
ouch.
can I add backstab on that? Cause
Yeah.
Then I have a 14.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Edward hits it for 6 damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it's 14 and I get backstabbed, then I have exactly a 14 and I do double damage if it backstabs. So that would be
Nice.
8 damage.
8 damage. Okay. Okay. It yells in pain. This thing has supernaturally ethereal, glowing eyes. It's glowing with an unearthly red color. Anybody else acting this turn?
I think
I got a
I only rolled an
1.
11.
Oof.
Yeah. Oh, I rolled 11.
Tharnlin's gonna just charge straight in to attack it. Ah! Runs in. Oh, what'd you say you got, Helmer? Did you say you attacked
An 11.
11
I'm up there, too.
with a bow? Oh wait, okay.
With his sword. Yeah, he ran up too.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay, yeah, you both miss this thing. And
I
then
didn't realize Edward had a bow. I thought he was in melee, so I was like, yeah, okay. Oh no, you're behind me. Okay, well, here we are.
it
I
has a chance to
misunderstood.
attack. It's going to attack Tharnlin. Let's see. 10 misses. For a total of... Wait, a 14 I don't think does miss. I think that hits. Tharnlin. Yeah, I'll say that hits. It does 7 damage to Tharnlin. This thing bites
Wow.
into Tharlan. He yells in pain.
Oof.
And let's
Carlone's
see.
always getting taken out.
Poor Tharlan. This guy's a...
Alara, roll a
Is he a
d6
tank?
for
He's more like
initiative.
a pincushion.
Oh, got a 6.
6. All right, you are able to act first.
Okay. I don't get any more backstab. Is it just the first one?
No, you
Or is
can.
it-
You got it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still firing.
I'm really liberal with backstab in this. I know like people do it differently, but I kind of rule it the same way it is in 5th edition. Like, but it depends, right? Like,
Yeah.
but to me,
Well, I think
like this thing is clearly you're in a tree off somewhere else. This thing is clearly fighting for its life in melee. I think you get it.
Yeah. I mean, if he's in the middle of melee and can't tell where it's coming from, it makes sense to me that, So that would be 15 with my backstab for 10 damage, because it's double damage on a backstab.
All right, you
Nice.
you kill it. You strike
Ooh.
it right in one of its glowing eyes, and it dies. Well, it dies again because as you, when you look at it, you realize that. Let's see. What about this? Is this weird? It's not going to work. Okay, let's try this one. You realize as you look at the body of this thing that it is also some kind of undead. It should not be living. Part of its insides are missing and exposed. It has bones showing. Some sort of supernatural force has animated this creature.
So this is not even something Dark Elves would have done, or would have been capable of.
Do
per
you
se.
all bring up your experience with that to Alara?
I'm asking if I would know, I guess. Is that something Dark Elves
Um,
are capable of, is reanimating the dead? Or is that more related to
Dark
something else?
elves.
So your kin would never... Let me think before I say it. I don't think you would ever expect your kin to dabble in necromancy. In fact, something that you know of very like in a very ephemeral, vague sense is one of the very reasons that they guard the towers and ruins of the builders, of the Elder Ones, is because of some sort of powerful secret magic that you're confident would destroy the world. Like that's like the reason that you're given is like if the secrets of the builders or the elders was ever discovered, mankind would destroy everything. So that, you know, it's not that you disagree with that, right? Usually the rangers or the elves that depart, it's the methods that are their problem. It's because they murder people and, you know, do all kinds of nasty things to try to protect the ruins. So no, I don't think the elves... You would never expect an elf to do something like this. The Aine Norne are not inherently evil.
I wonder if this is related to the cursed grove we saw.
I mean, so all the trees around us, I just climbed a rotten tree, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
gross.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, yeah, that's, yeah.
So if we look around, the
I
forest
didn't
around
think
us
this
is
through.
literally rotting.
You feel yourself getting bitten, and then you're like, and you pull off a big fat leech, and it's squirming in your hands. You
Ew.
throw it. There's another
Tree
couple. You get 'em
leeches?
off. Yeah.
Oh, this is the worst kind.
Yeah, I'm just like slide down that tree. I'm like hitting leeches on the ground.
Thanks, I hate it. Oh,
Reminds me of the sewers. Oof.
Probably smells like it.
Yeah.
Edward says, well, just seems like every time we try to do something to help Brandonsford or accomplish our mission, something else becomes more complicated in this place. This seems like a truly blighted place. I mean that in the broadest sense.
Yeah.
Helmer kind of frowns and he says, well, although there's much. This place is very important to me, but I was on this other quest with you. If you wish to carry on to the dwarves, as he's saying this, he's kind of like moving the head around with his sword, like in disgust. We can go if you want.
Edward says, I'm sorry, Helmer, I didn't mean that. I did not mean any offense. The people here really do seem like wonderful people, and I am concerned for your land. And
We do have a duty.
Yeah, Knob Boulderhill, he's just like, in some ways they seem worse off here than Brandonsford. There really does seem to be something bad that's happening to this place.
If we could solve its problem, maybe then, I mean, the idea was if we help them out, they help out Brandonsford, but...
Well, and if we can't, whatever it is, whatever this is could spread to Brandonsford, to the dwarves, to everybody. If we can't stop it now.
Is there anything, I mean, just kicking around some dirt in here, like, is there any, I don't know what I'm looking for. We're looking for in this grove. I was anything that was like, I don't know, witchcraft or something that might have blighted this place, so we could at least get some clues. Other than it's just nasty, and there's undead wolves.
At that, you actually hear ding dong ding dong, like the bell. The bell at the center of Griff's bluff starts to ring and toll.
Oh, is that the things are bad bell?
Yeah, the things are bad bell.
Oh, Elmer's eyes roll like.
Oh, that's not just like noon services or something.
I'm afraid not. No. What shall we do? Shall we go deeper, or shall we investigate? Deeper into the woods, or deeper? Sorry, I can't make words. Woods or bell?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. How far are we in this grove, or is it?
You're just a matter of dozens of feet into it.
Okay.
I do want to point out, Alara, like, probably this is, what started as kind of like this kind of grand external quest about trying to find the fate of the dwarves or whatever and helping Brandonsford. You're starting to realize this is probably at the heart of the mission of the Black Oak Rangers. Like, something really bad is happening here, and this is actually now existential, probably, to your mission as a ranger.
That I need to solve this. I'm trying to remember, am I able to sense magic, or is that a spell that I don't have?
I get my games mixed up because, especially DCC, because, so I honestly, DCC is the one that's screwing me up right now with the elf. Because this one is way more muted. I think that you just get a 1 and 2 to hear noise and sensing things. I don't think it's
2 and 6 chance for detecting secret doors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I think it was one of the magic spells that I could learn, but I don't think I picked that one.
Oh yeah, you have.
But some other games I know it's just natural to elves to sense it, and I couldn't remember for this.
Yeah, Hero's Journey has that. Elves can just simply sense magic, just all the time. Yeah. Some of this stuff I don't keep as like strict mechanics. Some of it, like, if it makes sense, you just do it and you don't have to roll for it, kind of thing. That happens a lot. And then the fact that you're a ranger, I'm probably gonna like start moving away from advanced fantasy. And you're just a ranger. Like, we don't have to have a class to tell us that you are that, So if it makes sense that you can do it, you can just do it. But as far as sensing magical things, well, what are you trying to...
I guess I was trying to figure out, which I could have probably accomplished other ways, is trying to figure out a deeper cause for why this is happening, why it's so fast, why everything is just... Like, if there was a source of darkness of some kind here, or a source of magic, or if there was... Is this like an epicenter, or is this like a randomized...
Well,
Does that make sense?
yes, it does make sense. I will give you... I'm not going to bury the lead, so I'll tell you some things. I don't like doing this, but an interesting thing is that 2 of the characters are from here now, so I tend to do a lot more of you would know. This is one of those things that you would know, is that it is clear that things have been getting worse in the Evening Lands for a while now. Like the goblin hordes. Like that is a past year problem. Yeah, past year or 2. There've always been goblin tribes, but they're consolidating and becoming powerful, and they're starting to attack settlements and pilgrims and stuff like that. That is really alarming, because goblin hordes tend to be a harbinger of something bigger. Goblins are usually a symptom, not a cause. The other thing that has been happening is the glow, from what you know, is actually the humans here think that it's one of their temples of the Thrice Blessed. And at one point it was, but you know that it's actually one of the old elder ruins, the old structures of the Aine Norne. And it glows at night, and that's been something that's been going on. So this stuff has been getting worse over the past months, all across the Evening Lands. These kind of portents of doom. This is different in that it is clearly magical to you, and you don't think that this is the epicenter. This is a symptom of something that's going on somewhere else.
Okay.
So are we getting the impression that investigating this grove is not going to really turn up anything except gross stuff? Or
I have a feeling we may find things that are cursed or worse than we thought they were, but I don't feel we'll find the answers we're seeking.
Works for me. I didn't have any other leads. I was thinking we just investigate this grove and see if there's anything that jumps out. But if there's a bigger problem we know going on in Griff's Bluff, then we can...
Now, outside of the bell that we heard, do we hear any natural noises, birds singing, anything?
There are no
Insects?
birds in here. Yeah. You just hear like the slimy noises of things, falling from the trees and slapping wetly as they hit the dead leaves on the ground.
Yeah, maybe let's not be here anymore. There's a big plunks on his helmet. Oh.
There are also these big, fat, white, angry-looking hornets that, are eating away at the fruit in places.
Yeah. Helmer, I can't say that I've been that impressed with your faith so far. Don't take nothing personal. But so far your church has sent us a kid with a demon inside of him and been real shady about the rotten orchards. And stuff. I can't say you're cool, but... Oh, Helmer.
Helmer laughs for the first time today.
All right,
yes, nothing but problems.
Where to next, Lara?
I think we should probably go investigate why the bell is ringing.
All right. Let's see. No, it's okay. Uh-oh. It's okay. No, it's okay. Yeah, I promise. It's all right. Let's see.
Crowd panicking. MP3. Oh no. Ominous.
Let's see. I don't think. I think this will just be it. I don't think it's going to make any music. So, returning to Griff's Bluff along the Pilgrim Road. Oh man, this thing is struggling. Come on.
Apparently, the curse is spreading.
Maybe I can do it on my end because I'm a assistant GM or something.
Oh, there we go.
Come on. Okay, so you come into Griff's Bluff. You see in the in the market square are gallows. And that's why the bell is ringing, is they have gathered together people that are being hung on the spot. And there are 5 men here, with their hands tied behind their backs. And there are executioners, and people are gathered around the market square.
Do we recognize the men at all?
Yeah, do we know these guys?
I need a chaos die.
Ooh.
No, you do not recognize any of these people. They do look like ruffians, but you can hear people whispering, as you approach, and they're like, traitors, they say, spies, Rebek, and stuff like that. And there is a preacher of the thrice blessed kind of giving like final rites to these criminals and offering repentance too. And there is also, I should note, who is the sergeant at arms here? The Sergeant Priss Fourfingers, who's overseeing this execution. So that's what's happening.
Ooh.
Now our chance to break into the keep? Wait.
She is
Priss
not
was-
there right now.
Priss-
Yeah.
Chris is the one that we were warned about, man. Maybe we should... Rabbi may be a bad influence, I don't know. Go break into the keep and to free the prisoner, right?
I mean, I can't think of any other leads we got right here, and it was pretty heavily implied. I think I could be totally reading the situation wrong, but amongst the yeah, too bad about those goblins killing him. Wink, wink, wink. Oh, it sure is bad that the Baron's got some stuff going on. Wink. Totally compromised. Wink, wink. I think this is your time to shine. But disclaimer, could be completely mistaken.
It could go wrong, yeah. Or it could go right.
Really wrong.
Next thing you know, could be me up on that gallows.
Yeah, at the same time, I mean, like, this
and Chris is like, all right, where are we starting today? And then it's like, oh,
Just
we're
start
in a prison.
singing and they'll
We're in
throw
chains.
gold for you, though. You start singing, we'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What is the consensus, Alara?
Okay, so we don't know what's going on. We talked about possibly breaking into the gallows. Do we know enough to know if any of these guys are from the gallows?
No. But you hear people talking, you can ask around.
So do we want to break into the gallows, or do we want to find out more information about these men first?
Can ask around real quick, like, hey, who's being hanged?
Because I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this.
There's an old man here. He says, yes, they say that they captured some Rebek spies. This is the last straw, if you ask me. It'll be war next month. Before the winter comes, they'll need to get their war in.
Everybody's really chomping the bit for war, huh?
Yes, they found gold coins on them with the Rebek mint from Countess Yestra's family. They even admitted to it.
To having coins or being spies?
Being spies.
Sound like spies.
Looks like spies to me. He eats an apple. You realize there's a worm in the apple, but he's eating
I was
it.
like, oh, we might.
Joe,
It's
pull
over.
that out.
Well, I'm like still thinking of trees, leeches.
The
Oh.
worst. Yeah. All right. What do we do, Alara? Is it the try to break into the keep, or and if so, do you just go straight there, or you try to? Do you want to go somewhere else, or talk to somebody else? What do you all do?
I don't know enough about this place to know where to go outside of we've been to the church, we've been to the inn, and they've talked about breaking someone out.
Right, we can't do that without the show.
And you can, so you know, you can do it. So Edward is with
Okay.
you. Yeah, this is not a open table game. So anytime you're not here, your character's here, and we try for them not to die. That's kind of my policy.
Right on.
We try. I don't have the map up here, but basically, Griff's Bluff is a kind of on a bluff. It's on a hill, and it's got a wall around it, and there's a keep. What you tell her, because you all have talked about this. I mean, you can tell both Alara and Birdie what you've seen. You know.
I mean, didn't they say there was like around this? Am I remembering this wrong? Like they said around the side, there's I don't know if it's a service entrance or some way that they could sneak us in if we were agreed to do that
Yeah.
show for them.
Yeah, he told
So-
you that he would bring you in through a sally gate up into the keep if you agreed to put on a private performance for them.
And I say we go see if
all
they're
go.
over at that Sally Gate. And I mean, they may all be on duty for the hanging. I don't know, but we were told to worry about Pris, and she's busy. So
Okay, you head on over to the keep, well, actually, I have a map for it here. I'll tell you what you see. Keep, here it is. This is just what you see from the outside. It kind of raises up onto even higher terrain. And there is a portcullis here. And there are 2 guards, and one of them is Hidalgo. And he says, "Oh, look, it's the performers. It's what are their names? Yesterday's Muse. I heard that you had a big breakup with the band, and you threw a bunch of them out for heresy. I heard. Good on you."
Elder makes the sign.
They're so confused. They don't know what's going on. But everybody everybody in town knows that like a bunch of performers were thrown out of the Lone Watchman Inn, though. So.
yes, that's what happened.
Well, did you think about our deal?
I certainly did. I mean, right, Edward? We're on board.
You come at a good time. Half the guard is out with the execution right now.
Oh, well, I hate that we're gonna miss the show, huh? But what are you gonna do? You know.
Now, are you all okay with this? You okay with committing some unlawful acts? To clarify, with law and chaos, it should really be called good and evil. Really, like law is just being good in this world, and then chaos is this Lovecraftian malevolent force underlying everything, burbling up from the dungeons beneath you. Also, it's evil. So you don't have to feel like you can't do anything, because you're lawful or something. Just to be clear, like lawful just means you're a good person. In this.
So at this point, I think with Alara, she's not quite convinced that the people here are good.
Oh, Right. You know, like it's your judgment call whether or not this is a good thing to do or not, and you could be wrong or right.
Yeah,
We don't
we're
know.
already in so much trouble anyway. Things are going so bad. We need to fix it. They're not going to help.
This, we have, all we know is apparently Sister Greta doesn't like the Duke or the Baron, or I forget that.
Yeah, that's so Helmer.
I'm not sure if I trust her either, but honestly,
Yeah,
so I
Helmer's
want to find
thinking.
more out about
Go
this.
ahead, I keep interrupting.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But no, I kept interrupting you, and then I interrupt you by apologizing for interrupting you. Go ahead, finish your thought.
This is what we call a Canadian argument, I guess.
Yeah. How do you trap a Canadian in a room?
Ow! Tell me.
You put him in a room with only one door, and you say, "Do not enter." How do you trap two Canadians? You open the door. You open the door. After you. No, please, after you. No,
It's great. What a good problem to have, for crying out loud. We get some of that. Anyways.
Yeah, I'll tell that.
Yeah.
He could tell that joke. I actually came up with that, and I'm very proud of it.
That's good.
And I can actually see that happening from the Canadians that I've known.
Oh,
Nice.
man. I got a good story about that, but I don't want to. That'll be another day.
My friend Caleb constantly gets onto me because they don't like, a lot of people don't like when you say sorry as an empathizing, as a measure of empathy, you know, just to try to empathize with somebody. So I do that a lot. I do the Canadian sorry, you know, and I'm not actually like culpable for anything. I just care. And he's like, you've got to stop saying you're sorry. They hated that in the military too, but I got it in me somehow. I had a French Canadian boss when I was deployed in the Sinai, and all my colleagues were Canadian. They were Canadian Air Force. Yeah. Except one was Czech Air Force. I have no idea why, but he was also on the staff.
Quebec was.
All right, so do we do this or not? That is the question.
Helmer's
There's no going back.
Yeah, Helmer's convinced that this is what Sister Greta was hinting at. Yeah, at first he was not okay with this, but then when she's like, "Be ashamed of," again, that's how he's reading it, or I'm reading it. So yeah, Helmer's in. He thinks it's a breakout.
Edward
This guy to the temple.
is like, yes, we are here to provide a performance for you and your friends. And he's so excited. He's like, oh, good. Okay. At the changing of the guard, I'll meet you here. And then it's about an hour later, he guides you down into this like swampy, moaty, mucky part down on the side of the keep. Probably where they throw the refuse out. It's been a stinky day. Ben is like back in his old life again.
I'm in my element.
And you basically go through what has been used as a sewer drain. It was designed as a place if there was a siege, they could kind of like gather their forces here and exit the fortress and then make a counterattack. But it's really kind of turned into just like a sewer drain. And he brings you through a break in the Sally Gate and up into a stone dungeon part of the keep. And he's got a torch with him because it's dark in here. And he says, now don't worry about all the clawing sounds that you hear. There's something down in the cistern down at the bottom here, but we haven't quite figured it out yet. But don't worry about that. Let's just worry about the performance right now while we still have time. And he climbs back up into kind of the first level and into the watch house where there's a bunch of guards. And he's like, lads, I've got yesterday's muse. And they're like, yeah. And that's the guards that are off duty. Now, Edward starts to put on his performance. And they're loving it. What do you all do?
I'm a little intrigued by what's in the cistern, but don't really want to meet it.
Yeah.
But
Turn off the trash compactors.
We don't have R2, so that would probably be a bad idea.
The big question alive.
So yeah, is there any? Are we looking for the dungeons?
I guess so, yeah. We're gonna need to disguise the guy or something.
I'll say that with the two hobbits and the dwarf and Edward, they're able to put on a performance so you all can operate.
All right, as we're going down there, let's find the suit of armor, a guard's armor.
So what do? Do you just try to like hang back and wait for them to go and just wait in the dark or something? I mean, how do you pull this off? That's the first thing.
Yeah. So I guess where are they performing? Like, what are we seeing? Any, like, is there any other? I mean, I guess place access points to reach. I guess.
Access points to reach. This
Yeah,
is just
so I guess,
this is more of an abstraction right now than it is a dungeon. It's just like this is so you went under the Sally Gate, and then there's like this undercroft, and you rose up in the undercroft, and then it goes into this watch house where the off-duty guards are, and that's where they're putting on their performance.
That's where they're doing their performance.
But you could look, if you're looking for something, or if you hang back or try to separate, or maybe you try to do it after. Like what's the plan? What are you looking for, even?
I'm kind of looking for a chance to slip off to investigate the keep, while they're trying to figure out how we sneak away from the performance if they know we're part of it. Yeah.
No, they won't, is what I'm saying. So you got that part. So you could like try to hang back, or you could join them and then try to slip away, or like, you could look for places like for another route. What else could you do? I don't know.
Do we need keys?
This is true.
I'm guessing our burglar could sneak keys potentially, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I do have some thieves' tools, but I only have like a 35% chance of pulling that, or 30% chance of pulling that off. So,
are there any kicking around? Like if the guards are in here and they're all like, cheering and excited, and if it's the switch, did anybody just kind of like throw them down or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm looking for any sort of like, I don't know, any access points to like that might lead to the dungeons, I guess.
Okay.
Like where the guards came from.
Yeah, like, I mean, they were kind of guarding the perimeter. They brought us in here, trying to see if there's any like, stairs leading down or.
Okay. You do see
like
another pathway in the undercroft that seems to connect underneath the keep. It was probably used for the defenders, to be able to access other areas underground. As far as the distraction, if you're trying to get keys, you're confident that it would increase your chances. I'll give you another 30% on top of that. If you can think of another way to distract them, I'll let you roll it twice.
I guess I could also try and pickpocket some keys off somebody but that's a little 70% chance depending that they'd notice. I mean, if I'd have to roll above a 70 for them to notice, and I get a succeed on a pickpocket on a 35 or less.
Yeah, and I'll give you a 30% because of the another 30% because of the celebration, and I'll say you have to not roll a 90 or above for them to notice.
To snag some keys from them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
Ooh. That's the exact amount on a basic pickpocket roll for somebody to notice me. That's
And what was the thing that you need? So 30. So you did not manage to get the keys.
I did not manage. So like basic pickpocketing, if it's level 5 or below, I have a 30 at this point. I have a 35% chance. So if I rolled a 35 or lower, it succeeds. They only notice the attempt if I roll twice that amount, which is 70.
Okay.
Which, except you said you were giving me a bonus. So
I said 90 is the thing. But you don't get the keys, but you do have lock-picking tools. You have these tools, right?
Yes, I do have that.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can try to get around, and I will say that you are able to separate off into the keep proper. Goodness. And Helmer. And you probably need some light. I feel like this is a daylight map, and I'm not sure why I didn't put it that way. Global illumination, I think. There we go.
There we go.
And I'm going to make this one disappear. Actually, I'm going to bring it with you all, because I can't see without it.
Would my infravision help here, or is it too dark?
It's not dark. I didn't intend to... So there are torches on the walls and stuff. In fact, that could prove a problem in case somebody was trying to find you. Let me see if I can make you all even smaller, so that we can see what's going on, because it's a tiny map.
Little Elmer.
Okay, so you see as you come out into this open area here that another problem is without the keys or knowledge, you're not sure, you're pretty sure that this leads out into a forward defensive area, like an additional guard towers, and then this leads further into the keep, and you're not sure where this leads.
I'm guessing, based on nothing at all, that the dungeons and things like that would be more connected with the outside area than the inside. If we go deeper into the keep, I think that's offices and rooms.
Mm-hmm. So if we want to rob the Duke or whatever, that's the way to go. But if we want to just free some prisoners, why don't we check the south door? Can we go listen at the door, I guess?
All right.
I'm guessing they would have different smells too.
You can make both a wisdom check and a listen at door check to be able to listen at the door.
So my hear noise is 1 out of 3. So listen to the door to hear sounds of something. So let's see. That was not a success. But then if I can go wisdom. It was also not a success, so I didn't hear Jack.
All right. Well, you do hear something, but you don't hear what's going on with it. You can hear that there's somebody behind that door.
Somebody in there. Is it locked? Should I just ever so slightly turn?
You ever so slightly turn it, it is locked.
Is this the latrine?
I was going to say, we could always pretend if we run into someone that we just had too much ale and can't find the bathroom.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. Ratbite, do you have anything in your backpack and we can swish our mouths with like alcohol and then they'd be like, oh, yeah, no, I can smell it.
Don't know that I...
Ben probably smells like really nasty rotten apples right now. And you all
That's
smell
true.
like,
I probably...
and you
Yeah.
all smell like poo because you climbed through the sewage to get in here.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just trying to find some place to wash up, man. I'm gross. Well, I guess I'll have to try and have to pick the lock first. I only have a 35% chance of picking this lock.
You can do that plus a dexterity check.
No, okay. Pick open locks is only 30%. Okay, let's try that. Nope, I can't pick this lock with that, but if I can try dexterity. Damn, I'm rolling one above everything today, it seems like.
All right. one round goes by. And it lands on a 1. As guards approach from here, you can hear people coming. This is going poorly so far.
Yes. Do we go deeper into the keep, or do we pretend like we got lost? Can't get through this door. Maybe.
I think.
We either go find a different door, or we have to come up with an excuse for why we're waiting at this one.
Yeah, I think let's try this door over here and see if we can go deeper. I'm just like,
All right, go ahead and move your token. Why is my screen not updated? Your token on my end is not updated for some reason. Let me see if I
Nope,
can
I'm
fix
big.
Okay, let's see if that fixes it. No, I don't understand. It works on one of my screens, but not the other for some reason.
Oh, there we go.
oh, there
I'm
it
sure.
is.
Now they won't see me.
Visible.
Is this door locked too? Because
Go
this
ahead-
time
go-
when they're
go
coming,
ahead
we're
and-
just trying.
Go ahead and click
We're
on
actually small enough to walk under the door now.
the foundry magic. You can click on it. There you go.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I didn't know that worked that way because I was like, okay, well, right by it, it was totally like, oh, they're coming. Let's go and close that door behind us.
Yeah,
Oh,
you-
I ran into a wall. Lovely.
Yeah, I keep doing that too. Oh, I just
You're
closed
like
the door on
opening
me.
the door. You're like, no, let me in. Like everybody's
I can't figure out how to. Yeah, it's 3 Stooges in here on the door. Okay.
You
We
hear
could
people-
totally pass for drunk if they catch us.
Yeah.
What's worse is you hear them coming like this way. Anyone near the door, if you want, you can attempt a listen at door check. You hear what's going on.
Or does the door have a lock?
Which one?
The one we just
This
came
door.
through?
This door right here, does it have a lock? It was not
Yeah.
locked.
No, but can we lock it from our side?
Oh, yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
is there a way to
I'll-
quietly...
Here you go. You locked the door. Yeah, you did that.
Yeah, and they may have keys, but that'll slow them down.
But
a
that
little
buys
bit.
us time, and they can't hear while they're jingling keys.
Exactly. So there looks like there are 3 doors in this room.
What's this spot?
Yeah, what is this that we see in this room, I guess?
This looks like a. This actually probably should have been sectioned off, and I didn't do it. But,
Okay.
But it's just another room. But this is like a large, ornate double door. Like it looks really fancy, and these walls are curved, looking like they were formerly what the keep once was. Like this is the inner keep, the inner bailey. Meanwhile, what did everybody else get on their listen at door check?
I just got a 6. I did not succeed. I think we should hide over here.
I got a 5.
A 5.
Oh,
Okay. A 6. Okay,
Hmm.
so yeah, you hear people coming, but you don't know what they're doing or what they're saying. All right, so you come over behind a wall here, and looks like you're waiting in the shadows. There's another door here, and then
Sorry.
Is it unlocked?
you hear voices over here, and you hear someone jiggling the door, and then muffled voices, and that's what you hear going on.
Okay, let's try this door. What do you say? Is it? Oh, it's open.
Oh.
Oh, there's a door here.
You just open the door.
Well, I'm. We're in a hurry. There's guys coming, so like at this point, we're trying to just it's
We're looking for the bathroom, okay?
yeah. We're just trying to stay out of their hair and hope they go
All right.
into the inner.
It was
keep.
unlocked. I assume the path to the bathroom is unlocked. We haven't gone through any locked doors.
You go further in to this room, and you see barrels and a ladder leading up, and some rope, and some stacked crates, and you hear muffled voices up above you, above where the ladder is, and there's a trap door above.
This isn't the bathroom.
I think we should get out of here.
Do we hide in here and hope they leave, and then go back the way we came, or hope they don't?
It's like Metal Gear Solid D&D edition now. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
I think we go back the way we came.
All
I'm
right.
having second thoughts. Not right away though. Like not right away. Wait for them to pass and then.
Yeah. That's
So nobody comes in here, and they didn't seem to have opened the door.
well,
Maybe they're just checking to see if it was locked.
maybe coast is clear. All right.
I keep running into the wall.
I think we're all just.
This happens in character. It's like no, please, no.
After you. No, after you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're stepping on my foot.
There we go. I just
Alright.
figured you're getting stuck on the door, so I didn't want to. Okay, and it's
Yeah.
it's
So what
locked
about
on
this
this
door?
side, of course, but
Yeah. What about this door right here to the south of us? Do we want to try that? Is there any? Can I listen at this door here?
yeah. I will. You all can take one action if you're staying here. It'll take another turn, so it'll be a dice roll. If you don't stay here, it'll be a dice roll the next place you go to. So you can either leave this area, or you can stay here and all take an action.
Do we explore, or do we go back to the one door?
I think we should.
Giving up already?
Elmar's
Well, this
lost
isn't the
nerve
dungeon.
entirely.
This is not the dungeon. They wouldn't have fancy near the dungeon.
No, I was like,
Bad idea, man.
just
Yeah, I
curious
think-
what's through in this area here.
Yeah, I think maybe this one.
All right. You could go ahead and roll a listen and door check. What's everybody else doing?
Okay, that's a success.
Okay. Let's see here. You hear nothing in here. This room does not have anything in it. Actually, it would not be
Perfect.
locked either. You can also tell that it's not locked.
Okay. Well, I'm getting ready to go this way, everybody. There's nobody in here, it sounds like.
There, off we go.
Oh, is this another closet?
Oh no!
It's not a closet. It is the what are the things called?
Battlement or the tree?
It's a garderobe. It's a bivet. Is that what I can't remember what? But a garderobe. It's a hole. It's a crap hole.
We found it.
This is the bathroom. Now
I would know this area as a former sewer tosher. This is where it starts. Like,
Yeah.
Now we have an excuse to be in here.
And you would know this, Ben, that because this structure has a garderobe and an undercroft, it ergo must go down into the undercroft. So you do have one way out of here if you need it.
Lovely.
got bad news for you guys.
Bad news
This
and
is
worse
bad
news, and I'm pretty sure
I
we
think
don't want to
we got a
smell
way
either.
out.
Oof, that is bad news. But okay.
I mean, we could go back and just say we got lost if we hit anybody, but
We were
Well,
using the bathroom. It's right here.
the Undercroft might also have an access to the dungeons, right? Would make sense, maybe somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, but there's also a horrible thing down there.
True,
But a horrible thing that won't arrest us.
this is true, and that horrible thing maybe will give some insights to whatever the heck the. I keep saying Baron or Duke. I can't remember which he is. If he's doing something shady, why has he got monsters in his Undercroft, right?
Also,
don't
with
know.
the way we smell right now, I don't think anything would want to eat us.
That's
You'd be
fair.
surprised, but yes.
All right. What is the plan, Alara? Are you diving down into the toilet, or yeah?
So we know that other door was locked, and we know there was a person on the other side of the door.
This is one of the ways that my wife's character died once. I will say.
Oh, lovely.
She died in poo. She drowned in it and
Oh.
died.
That's a crappy way to die.
It is a crappy way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Really poo-pooed
Oh.
that character.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go down the pun route with
No.
that's not a,
It's just. This is just toilet
I
humor at this
die. I
point.
die how I lived.
it's too late in the night for it anyway. So.
Oh my word.
Okay, so we jumping in the toilet? Or going
Ben's
somewhere
down
else?
for it. I mean,
What do you- what do you-
maybe,
well, we've already been in one sewer. What's one more?
I'm just
Alright.
saying this might be good for later knowledge in case we ever need to come back here. This is not the way they will be looking for us.
Let's see here. You let me find something here. You plop
Nice.
down into
Oh, lovely.
into the down in here. It is
Oh.
it is very dark in here. Does anybody have a lantern or a torch or anything in your equipment?
So we can light the methane.
Oof.
Yes. What do I
You
got
have a
here?
lantern.
I have a...
I have a torch. I just don't know if I want to use
Now,
it down here.
the elf, of course, you have infravision, and so does.
Yeah, I can see. I wish I couldn't, but I can.
I'll light a torch.
All right, you light a torch.
Kelmer doesn't know what methane is.
It is. The walls here are corroded with things that have kind of. It's gathered along the walls for a while, and then eventually you hear the voices of Edward, Tharnlin, Knob, and Squints as they have tried to find you, because they were not going to leave you here. And then Tharnlin's like, "Hello?" Like he's wondering if someone's in the toilet, but he feels really ridiculous asking, you know?
Hello.
Oh, is that you, Helmar?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, thank the All-Father. I thought that maybe the toilet was talking to me. All right, well, it seems you've got yourself in a bit of a
Mess.
mess. I'll get the
Somewhere.
others. And they get a rope and they climb down because, you know, or you can climb up. Those are the options.
Oh man.
I think you've already made your decision. So they
Yeah,
climb
I-
down and they take the rope. And here you
We're
are.
already in here. You're coming to join us.
Yeah, and then you hear something down here, something like scratching noises and sliding, squirming noises with them. There's something off in the distance, and that's where we'll end the session tonight.